Thank you, Dr. Tharoor, for your insightful observations and a perfect summary to such an inspiring lecture. Thank you. Mr. Pitroda and Dr. Tharoor have both agreed to take a few questions from the audience. May I request the questions to be kept short and the participants to introduce themselves before asking the question. While the audience formulates their questions, may I take the liberty of asking the first question?
Yes.
Unlike the US, sir, in India, institutes of higher education, businesses, and the government continue to work in their own silos. What, in your view, needs to be done to make them work together?
In general, we are not good collaborators. I am biased, so I'll say things a little differently. I find that we have very fragile self-esteem. Everybody is ready to be hurt. You don't say hello to me and say hello to Sashi, I won't talk to you for 3 days. I think collaboration requires very stable self-esteem. All modern work requires teamwork. And we are not good team players. It's a very serious problem because we do not have orchestra, we have solo players. You know, we have sitar and tabla, 3 guys playing something, but we don't have 200 people playing the same tune. That's not part of our culture. And I think modern work demands whole different skill set.
Audience questions?
Somebody has the mic.
We'll just get the mic to you, sir.
Yeah, I have a mic. May I?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My name is Shyam Sharma. I am in the academics world. I'm a visiting faculty to different business schools. While listening to both of you and getting inspired and enthused by both of you, one thought came to my mind. What is going to be the impact on social values? So much of change is happening, and we keep criticizing the media and the speed of change, which is eroding our social values. I would like you to share with us your views on what is going to happen to social values in this change which is happening.
I'm probably not qualified to answer that question. I probably don't know enough about it. But I would say over a period of time, social values have changed anyway. What my father thought was right and wrong is very different from what I think is right and wrong. It's very different from my children thinking what is right and wrong. What is fair, what is unfair. What is proper, what is not proper. What is good, what is bad. Okay. So these things keep changing anyway. So who decides what is the right value? Fundamental values remain same. Truth and absolute truth remains same. That doesn't change. Concern for human being, love for others, concern for minority. To me, these are fundamental values. Internet, no internet, don't change. Okay, sense of sacrifice. You look at Gandhian values in some different way. They remain same, very fundamental. Okay. Whether, you know, the value about what you like in the movie or what you don't like, irrelevant issue, really. That's how I see it. But then I'm not qualified. I'm not knowledgeable. Okay.
Shivani, you had a question there.
Good evening. I'm Shivani. I'm a faculty at IILM Gurgaon. So I want to ask you a question. You run such a successful business in the US. You hold close to about 100 patents worldwide. Yet you come back to India to share, serve, and give it back to the society here. So I want to know what keeps you going with so much passion.
I don't know. All I can tell you is that my father had 4th grade education. I was the first one in the family to go to college and get a degree. Yeah. I have 7 brothers and sisters. They are all in US. My parents died there. I think I found something interesting to do. That's all. I do it because it's interesting to do. Okay. And I made enough money to live comfortably. I'm not a billionaire. You know, but I'm okay. I'm not very rich, but I'm happy. I love every day, every minute, everybody I deal with. And I have a great life. I have a great family, great wife I've been married to for 47 years, who allows me to do these crazy things. Great children, no complaints at all. Great friends. So how can you ask for a life like that? I'm just lucky. So just enjoy it while it lasts. It may not last too long.
I think we have a question that side. Smita?
I'm Smita, faculty of IILM Lodi Road. My question is for Dr. Tharoor. Mr. Pitroda wants India to lead through knowledge, technology and innovation. Dr. Tharoor, you have researched and written a lot on India and the Indian way. Is India ready for this? Do Indians have a mindset for this?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we actually are surprisingly innovative already in extraordinary constraints. I mean, the whole Indian notion of jugaad, right? I mean, the way in which people have patched together things. I mean, you've had people finding creative ways with very, very limited materials to find purpose-built solutions to their problems. That is innovation. And so I'd say that innovation is in our DNA. We have, for various reasons, not encouraged it sufficiently. And yes, we do have some cultural constraints of conformity, of perhaps almost oppression of original thinking, including in our educational system, where we've tended to emphasize far too much on rote learning, on preparing the right answers to the examinations and not of thinking for ourselves. But I think while both coexist in our society, there is fertile ground in our culture for innovation. We just need to liberate it and encourage it. And having someone like Sam as an evangelist for it is fabulous. I think it's going to lead us in the right direction. The government, by the way, has bought into this also. I mean, one of the many pending bills that our dysfunctional parliament has not passed is one that would set up 14 universities just for research and innovation, and would be in the private sector, in the public sector, or in PPP mode, whatever. But we are really open now to giving it a national priority, and the PM has even announced that he'd like to double the percentage of GDP being spent on research and development in this country. So we are heading in the direction that Sam wants us to, and we hope very much to continue that way, and with redoubled energy in the years to come.
Can I add to that? I would say we need to ask these questions not to people like us or you or me, to people below 20. They are ready, we are not ready. So those who have voice in the system are not ready. Those who do not have voice in the system are ready, because they are the customer. Okay? But we are never talking to our customer. Na? How many people have asked kid about their school? Do you really like your teacher? Do you want to go to school? Are you learning the things you want to learn? Are you learning more from outside school or inside school? You ask them and they'll tell you. But as parents, you will not appreciate that. You'll say, oh, you don't know anything. I always tell young kids that there are two people you should never listen to, parents and teacher. Mainly because they just don't know. I mean, their experiences are very different. I used to have this argument with my wife all the time when my kids were growing up. I have two kids. And I never asked them what study. I never asked them what course you have taken, what class you are in, what grade did you make, or when did you come home. Never at all. Okay? Just love them. And they'll figure it out. My wife would be very different. Where did you go? When did you come home? What are you doing? Parents have a problem. Because they want to control. Children want to be liberated. So these questions should be asked to different group of people. If you ask us, we will say, oh, we are not ready. Why should we be ready? We want to preserve the old past. Because that's all we know. We don't know the future. It is their future. It's not our future. We are done anyway. So that's how I see the world. Okay.
I think we had a question at the back there, and there's one question Ambassador Vora wants to ask.
From CET IILM. So prior to 2000, there were about 20-50 odd engineering colleges in or higher education institute in the India, sir. Today there are more than 400 engineering colleges UP alone, sir. And at that time, about 20,000 students are passing out annually. Today, more than, if you take entire India, more than I think 10 to 15 million people are passing out every year. And
Not 15 million.
50, maybe 10 million, 5 million.
I can give you the exact numbers. At the time of independence, we had 30 universities.
College, yeah.
Oh, engineering specifically. I beg your pardon. No, the entire higher education system, we have 20 million a year. So we couldn't have 15 million coming out of engineering colleges. That's not possible.
Okay. So whatever it is, I was saying that the overall figure has gone more than 10, 20 times, sir, what it was prior to 20,000. My figure, and McKinsey study of McKinsey says that only one student out of 4 who is employable. And there is a shortage of, still there is so many people passing out from the institute, but still there is a shortage. Industry finds that they are not finding the right
Teaching wrong stuff.
So what is the...
We are teaching wrong stuff. I mean, you are answering your own question.
So what is the solution I am asking for it?
Teach right stuff. Well, it's not rocket science. You're teaching wrong stuff, so they can't get a job. Look, I have seen engineering graduates in this country can't write 2 sentences, can't read a paragraph, can't comprehend. Okay, what good is that engineering education? So we have to teach them right stuff. You can't blame poor kid. Okay, that's the problem. There is job market. I was talking to, who was that, 3-4 days ago, said 1,100 kids were interviewed, 1,100, and they found 3 qualified people they hired. Can you imagine that? But that's the way it is. What do you do? But everybody goes to engineering college because that's the only thing to do.
May I? My name is Deepak Vora, Ambassador and Special Advisor to the Prime Minister of Guinea-Bissau in West Africa.
That is.
You haven't heard of it.
West Africa. What happened to South Sudan?
Yeah.
I'm advisor to the President, but at the moment I'm advisor to the Prime Minister of Guinea-Bissau. Dr. Pitroda, I had the privilege of working with you for 2 years, and you taught me to challenge conventional wisdom and to stand every argument on its head. May I use that now to challenge what you have said?
You are entitled to.
Thank you. Dr. Pitroda, for the last 250 years, 5% of the world's population has been in the driver's seat and 95% have followed in the poor countries. It's very nice to talk of featherless chickens, driverless cars and glowing trees. But in the country where I serve, with electricity 5 hours a week, 42 of the 49 sub-Saharan African countries are net food importers, despite the fact that they have enough land, enough people, and more than adequate water. Sir, I need compassionate technology. I don't want to go into technology oriented towards the foibles of the rich. I want it for the needs of the poor. Your comment, sir.
In last 20 years, world has been able to get billion people out of poverty. 700 million of those came out of poverty in China. Next 20 years is the challenge in India. We must get 500 million people out of poverty in the next 20 years in India. It can be done in probably 10. Our focus in India is on the bottom of the economic pyramid. All our innovations, all our efforts in science and technology is going towards bottom of the economic pyramid. Solutions which are affordable, scalable, sustainable. Today technology is all there. What is lacking is the human capital. We can't find qualified people, I'm telling you. With all the brains, can't find 20 good software people. With all the great software experts. Yeah. It is a problem not only in this country, it's a problem all over the world. Because technology has moved so fast and so far ahead that people are not equipped to handle it. Africa's problem is same. So first it was Asia, Japan and all. Now it is India, China. then it will be Africa. Everybody lined up. It will happen in Africa. But it's going to happen here first. Any Africa has something to learn from it? Great. We will get this world out of poverty in next 25 years. Based on technology, based on my understanding, I am convinced there will be enough water, enough food, enough energy for everybody, 10 billion people. Guaranteed it will happen. Some fast, some slow, some will have little less than you and I think. But this world will have 10 billion people and everybody would have enough. Enough is whatever you call enough. Can you imagine? Just about 25 years ago, people in the world used to say, or maybe 30 years ago, that India is a basket case. How will India feed 600 million people? India is feeding 1.3 billion and as India has surplus food. And India is not very productive in agriculture, by the way. Okay? If India was productive in agriculture, if India agriculture was growing at 8%, my God, you will have so much food you wouldn't know where to put. That is technology. And I believe in it. Okay?
I think we should close at that. Thank you very much. Thanks, sir. On behalf of IILM, I thank our distinguished guests, Mr. Pitroda, Dr. Tharoor, and all of you for making this evening truly memorable. Thank you very much. May I request all guests to please rise for the national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना उच्छल जल तरंग तव शुभ नाम जय तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा भारत भाग्य विधाता जय है जय है जय है जय 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 हे
Go back 3 years and find out if there is a place to sign it. Where do you sign it? Is there a place? Vikas, have you got one? Good. Looks good? Thank you.